Get ready to reclaim your life, discover inspiring stories, practical tools, and the path to true happiness. This is Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Let's begin the journey. Hello and welcome to Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Today we have a special guest, Amanda Lindsey. She's the spreader of the happy. She's all about the hugs and smiles and finding the happy in the crappy. She is creator of international Facebook group Project S.H.A.P.E, spreading happiness across planet Earth, and wallet-sized bundles of joy called S.H.A.P.E cards. Connection means everything as she strives to make each encounter as joyful and meaningful as possible, getting herself and others into shape. And she's joining us from Louisiana today. Welcome, Amanda. It is a pleasure to have you.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming. And I love your top and I love your background. I think exact definition of you, bringing happiness and joy and totally kind of matches up. Awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so please share with us in your own words. Who is Amanda?
Oh my goodness, that's that's a loaded question. Oh no. Amanda is just a really, really happy person. I love happiness. I love spreading it to everyone. I like I said or like you said, spreader of happy and Project S.H.A.P.E, spreading happiness across planet Earth. That's my baby. I feel basically that just spreading joy, that connection is just such a beautiful thing. And along with the happy and the crappy, basically there is just it's about finding that sparkle, like my shirt here. Instead of being on the outside like my shirt, it's that sparkle that's on the inside. And how I love to show people that happiness is there no matter what your circumstance is.
You're totally right. I think we all, like a plant generates electricity, we can generate happiness from within. Unfortunately, oftentimes we look for happiness in other places, in external events and external circumstances. Meanwhile, we have the ability and capacity to generate it from within, because it takes the same amount of energy for us to feel happy, sad, miserable, and we get to decide that we have this amazing free will. We get to choose. And
Yes.
every moment we get to decide what are we choosing. So totally agree with you. What are you passionate about?
What am I passionate about? Oh, I am passionate about life. I love adventures. And for a very long time, I wasn't able to take them physically. I'm just starting to be able to do that now. I'm actually getting ready to go on my first plane ride since 2018. And it's going to be actually my first retreat, which is absolutely amazing because that's an adventure I've never had. And I'm so much looking forward to it. The times that I was not able to physically go on trips and things, I travel in my imagination. So I'm always traveling. I'm always going places, and I'm passionate about people. I love conversation. I love meeting new people. I love cultures. I love learning about the history from people's perspectives, not necessarily just reading in books. I mean, that's awesome, but I love the real life, talking to people and finding about their cultures, what they like to do. Food. Oh my goodness. I love food. And it's one of the things I want to do is travel the world and eat all of the wonderful foods in all the countries. That's a big goal of mine. Food makes me happy.
Yeah, I love traveling as well. And I think you get to discover other places, and it's not everything is like in your back door. Sometimes you get to learn and see all the amazing things, and especially the food, the culture. So I love it. It's beautiful. What makes your heart sing?
What makes my heart sing? Oh, I love what makes my heart sing is seeing other people happy. that just brings me so much joy. It lights me up because it's that contagiousness that just, when I see someone happy, it makes me smile. And then that smile that I have, I can bring to someone else. And it's just that cycle. And so that just makes me sing, because that vibration of happiness just brings the positivity to the world. I mean, even just a little interaction just makes such a difference.
You're so right.
Little ripple effect, you know what I'm saying? You start here and it snowballs. And
yeah, and you could be a light in someone's life by sharing the joy instead of sharing the misery. So
yeah,
I love how that's incredible.
saying misery loves company. Well, so does joy, and the more the merrier, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. What was the moment in your life that caused you to wake up? And wake up, I'm saying, that kind of suddenly changed the way the trajectory of your life was going. Let's say you were living in one way and something happened that caused you to kind of, now I'm going to do something differently.
I gotcha. Well, it kind of combines two things, two time frames, we'll put it that way. One for me personally, where I have been in a cycle of chronic health issues since I was the age of 15. So it's been, yes, I'm 41, so it's about 26 years that I've been doing the thing. But it had gotten really bad in 2009, where there was a flare up that just never went away. And I was in a really dark place emotionally, spiritually, definitely physically. I was losing, all of my physical faculties. I couldn't work. I was barely moving. And so that, I was very isolated, and just my life was, it was basically not mine anymore. Like I felt, one day I was doing things, and then all of a sudden I couldn't. And my life just changed so drastically in that instant. And so along those lines, I'm going to then kind of jump forward to the pandemic. And that's pretty much the crappiest time of recent history of the world. And so basically I was kind of, when that was, all the things were happening and we were in lockdowns and people were, isolating themselves, they were getting depressed and frustrated and confused, and they're like, oh my God, my life isn't mine anymore. And I'm kind of like, like, this is very similar to what I've been living for, years. And I kind of put the two together and was like, what I'm missing and what the world is missing, is hugs and smiles. Because, with the mask wearing, everybody, you couldn't smile, or you could, but it wasn't the contagious that it used to be. And of course, the hugs, with the social distancing, people weren't able to hug anymore physically. You had the air hug and the fist bumps and, all that good stuff, which is fun, but it's just not the same as that, So I'm like, okay, I want to give the world hugs and smiles. That was my wake up. I'm like, I'm done being, with this, and the world is feeling how I'm feeling. So we actually can connect right now, where before nobody really understood me, or nobody could, and of course back then, there was no Zoom, there was no, meetings on the phone or video chats, no FaceTime. It was like you either hung out with your friends physically, or you were by yourself and you didn't have anybody. I mean, you could talk on the phone, but I was not a phone person. That took a lot of energy out of me. And I was just like, so that I just decided that, I want to change things. And so the hugs and smiles, that was my thing. And I decided to create these little cards, and they were called Hugs and Smiles. And if you see them, right here. That was kind of the birth of Project Shape. They're now called shape cards because they, relate to the Project Shape name. But so that was the beginning of spreading happiness across planet Earth. And from there, I decided to go with it. Project Shape was created. I actually talked to a good friend of mine because these cards, I was like, how am I able to get these out? And basically, the little cards, they're like little business cards. They've got the Project Shape logo on the front, and it's a really innocent, childlike little logo. It's the Earth, and it's got hands of different colors all around it, just to that unity feeling. You know what I'm saying? And so on the back of the cards, I handwrite these little messages and the messages I wanted to share basically with the world, which were hugs and smiles. You are awesome. Have a beautiful day. Great job. And thank you. And so I talked to a friend and I was like, what can we do with these cards? Because she had a gratitude journal that she was trying to sell. And I was like, I think, what you're doing with this selling the things. You could kind of show me what's going on. And she said, you know what? I think your message is bigger than just these cards. I think it's about, you and you spreading the happy. And yeah, the cards are awesome. Why don't you just hold on to that for a little while? Why don't you do a Facebook group? And I'm like, I have no idea how to even do that. So she set one up for me one day and said, just, play around with it, have fun. And oh my God, ever since I started that, it's just been amazing. Like basically the group is like right now we're over 800 people and we've got 53 countries. And that's a lot, I think. I mean, yeah, there's a whole bunch of countries in the world, but just the idea of, 53 countries coming together to spread happiness and joy with each other, that lights me up. So that's kind of how that started. And I just kind of woke up and said, hey, let's be happy. I'm going to choose it.
Yay! I love that you say, I'm gonna choose it, because I think this is where everything starts, with a simple decision. Oftentimes we think we have to make mountains or create something huge or grandiose, but it starts really with a simple decision. It all comes down to that. And I love how you you followed you didn't know what you were doing, but you kind of folded in and followed through and figured it out on the way. And I think that is incredible, and it allowed you to feel better as well. Once you related to people, you finally was able to see that now they can understand how I am feeling. So you can actually connect with them better on the same level, and you can speak the same language. And the fact that you are able to do that, I think, is incredible. And it is amazing that you have 53 countries represented. That's so wonderful. Oftentimes what we hear on the news is all the negative stuff, but I have this dream of maybe creating a channel, a happiness channel, to share all the good things that are happening. Because oftentimes we talk about, there was like something happened here and over there, but great things are happening all around, but they're never been recognized or noticed or spoken about. We take that for granted, and whenever something bad happens, it's like, it happened. So awesome. What were the 3 lessons you learned as a result of your wake-up call?
Well, first was that happiness is an inside job. It's not something that's external. It's something that I choose and I create it. That's number one. Secondly, that gratitude is such an important thing because it amplifies my happiness when I'm vibrating high. It's an amplification of the happiness. And then when I'm not and I'm really low, it helps me to find the happy and the crappy. It's that gratitude is such an important thing. And then let's see. Ooh, number 3. basically that, you know, life isn't happening to me, it's happening for me.
Totally right. I totally agree with you. And I love those lessons. Happiness isn't inside job because you are the creator. You get to decide what you create. We are a judge, an executioner, a performer, an audience, all wrapped into one. We get to create our show, then we get to judge our show. And we get to disapprove of ourselves instead of putting belief in ourselves. You know how amazing we are. We choose to do the opposite.
No, I never really thought of it that way, but you're right. And it's so funny that we choose the opposite, you know, most of the time. And it's, it seems like it's easier to choose, you know, to choose, or it seems like you would want to choose to be happy consciously, you know, but subconsciously, it just seems that it just happens that we aren't. And it's just kind of crazy. But the more that you can be, I guess, mindful of it, the easier it gets to choose happy.
Yeah, you're so right. And I love also your second point, you know, about gratitude. Gratitude is one of the key elements to happiness, and I wholeheartedly believe that. Oftentimes it's difficult to recognize the things that are working. We take them for granted. When we are in a crappy situation, we only choose to see what is bad, what we are missing, what we are lacking, instead of appreciating the fact that we woke up today, the fact that we can speak and walk. And I didn't appreciate walking until I dislocated my knee. I'm totally fine and totally good. But it's like simple things that we do on a day-to-day basis that we expect. They're just supposed to happen. So now every day when I walk, I say, thank you, my knees, for supporting me. The fact that I'm able to walk, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm seeing. It goes without saying, when we start recognizing things that are working, we suddenly going to notice more things that are working as opposed to focusing on the things that aren't working.
I agree with you completely there. Absolutely.
And the last point that you made, life is not happening to me, but for me. It goes back again to say, oftentimes when we're in a negative situation, we only see the negatives and we see, why me? Why me? But what if we change the narrative and say, try me instead? Because we are never given more than we can handle. We're always given enough to push us forward, to kind of peel off the onion, the layer, and get into the next step of evolution. Because we always change and our problems change. And something that used to bother you 6 months ago, you're probably laughing at it right now. It's not even a big deal anymore. You now have another big deal that you're kind of thinking about. So totally, I love that part.
I love that try me. I've never heard that. That's great. Instead of why me, try me. That's great. I love that. I'm gonna start saying that. That's a good thing. I like it.
It gives you kind of an opportunity. What else can I do? You become confident.
Yeah.
Once, and also goes to say, when you help somebody, it could be nothing for you, but could be a great deal to somebody else. And then you're able to get there.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah. Did you have a hero growing up?
Ooh, my parents. They they definitely they showed me how to love. And that is a very, very important lesson. I mean, I think happiness is one of the most beautiful expressions of love. And but just love in general is just so beautiful. And when observing how not only they loved each other, but how they loved me was just it, you know, they're my heroes.
Beautiful. What qualities of your parents did you want to emulate for yourself?
Ooh, independence, um, unconditional love, confidence, um, let's see. The adventure, looking for adventure. Um, lots of positive qualities they have, and definitely very important ones, I think, to emulate, because you know, to get around in society, you know, by yourself and, you know, just with others, you know, just to be yourself, to be confident, and to also respect other people and respect their qualities. As the more that we can do that, I think the more that we're able to love and understand one another.
Yeah, I love that. And I think those are important qualities, and you're doing some of it already. You're adventuring out to Sedona
Yes, indeed.
and becoming an author and writing books. How was that experience for you, becoming a writer? I know we
Oh,
started together, kind of, right? Or did you do something before April of 2022 in terms of writing?
nothing published. You and I, our first, was that your first
It
book
was
as
my
well?
first. Yes, yes.
Yes, that was Sacred Surrender was my first book, but I've always written, but I had never shared it with anyone. It was always something that I was, let's see, we'll just say before I got sick, and I was a very, you wouldn't recognize me personality wise. I was the very type A, push, 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 burning the candles at both ends kind of person, and very, very perfectionist. And so I never wanted to share my writing because I never thought it was good enough. I always, you know, it was something that I loved. I loved expressing my feelings. I wrote poetry. I wrote stories. I wrote plays. I loved, you know, I would share things in school. You know, literature was one of my favorite classes. So, you know, the writing has always been a thing, but I just never felt confident enough, or like it was ready to share. And so when I had the opportunity to go into Sacred Surrender with you and many other beautiful authors, it it helped me to get more confident in my writing. It helped me to realize that my message needed to be shared, and beautiful experience. It was like magic. I told our publisher it was like riding a magic carpet ride. It was, I felt like I was floating, and you know, it was just a beautiful process.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
And I'm still doing it. I'm in book number 3. I'm getting ready to do, so that's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, congratulations. I
Oh,
think,
thank you.
you know, we have so many stories still. I think when we begin, we always think, oh, we have nothing to talk about. But then you can tell the same story in 25 different ways by highlighting a certain aspect or how you related or something happened. And, you know, stumbling over that imposter syndrome, like we don't have a like an English degree, you know, that we
Right.
qualified to write, but then we all have stories, and even before spoken words, people are related to each other's story, sharing, telling, and now be able to record that. So I love that. What is your mission now after you have gone through your wake up moment and you learned your lessons?
Oh, my mission now is just truly just spread joy, and to take advantage of the happiness that we're given, because there were some really dark times. There was a year that I was completely bedridden. I couldn't move, and basically, you know, if I could open my eyes, that was amazing. And that was something that, you know, we going back to gratitude, when, you know, when I was at that point and I could open my eyes, I was like, oh my God, you know, thank God I can open my eyes. You know, all this other stuff might not be working, but hey, I'm awake today. And, you know, when, like you said, when you get into a circumstance where the normal things you're not able to do or you don't have, you really appreciate what you do have a lot more. And I guess what I've, from taking those experiences, I just kind of apply it to every day now. I'm like, I woke up. How amazing. This is great. What else is happening? What else can I do today?
Yes, you're right. You're right. I love it. What was the smallest thing you've done that had the biggest impact in your life so far?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna say right in that first chapter in the book, because after doing that, it was amazing because the people that I met, the connections I made, not only, the confidence building and things that it did for me personally, but, um, you know, what I've been able to do since then with Project Shape. Also, when my publisher read the book, she really loved the idea of the Hugs and Smiles cards. And so she was able to invest. And so now they're a reality. Oh, look, they're not just my dream. I'm excited. So basically I can, that from that one, choice to write the book, that saying yes, it allowed me to say yes to so many other things that have just created beauty in my life and beauty in other people's lives, which that makes me super happy.
Amazing. So one little decision to write a chapter had led to be unfold in so many other beautiful things.
Oh
Amazing.
yeah, absolutely. It's even if I look back, if I hadn't written that chapter, I wouldn't be going to Sedona next week. So, I mean, how awesome. I wouldn't be able to meet you. I'm going to be meeting you in person. So that's amazing. So many cool things.
Yeah, yes. What is your superpower if you had to pick one?
Oh, that is my smile. My smile, with my smile, I can bring smiles for miles. I can turn your frown upside down. Most of the time if I enter a room and I look and somebody's not happy, I can go smile and they'll usually smile back or they'll laugh, which I'm good with that too. I'm all about laughter is one of the best expressions of happiness, I think too.
Yes, yes, that's beautiful, and you're so right. It's all about smiles and happiness and sharing it with others. What do you want to create next? Any fun projects on you working on that you like to share?
Oh, yes. One of my things that I have going on in my head right now is I would like to create a YouTube channel dedicated to happiness, and I'm going to call it Happy Chats. And basically, what I want to do is I've realized with my mission with Project Shape and everything, there's like 8 billion people in the world, right? And so there's like over 8 billion ways that people are experiencing happiness, what they think happiness is, because it's so personal, but yet we're all connected to it. And so one of my dreams is to go on YouTube and interview just anybody and everybody and just talk to them about what makes them happy, what lights them up. And it's almost like a happy channel.
I love that because my channel is called Happiness Academy.
I love it. Great, we'll do it.
Yeah,
You'll be the teacher, and I'll just be chatting away. It'll be beautiful. I love it.
yeah, because for me, when I was going through my process and coming out of it, I decided to create this Happiness Academy, a 12-step thing to be happy again. And
I
that's
love it.
how the channel kind of was born. So I love what you want to create. I think that is important, and you're so right that happiness is an individual thing for everyone. It doesn't mean that what makes me happy is going to necessarily make you happy, but you might get some ideas, you might get some exploration, uh, because sometimes you don't even know what you like or what you dislike as you reach that. I don't know if it ever happened in your life, but you know how they say midlife crisis. You get to the point where you no longer know who you are, and you start kind of questioning everything and like what makes you happy, what do you like, what do you dislike. If you always kind of been for somebody else, or you've been that other person. How do you discover who you are again? And I think it's through discovering things that make you happy, trying different hobbies, exploring, and becoming a kid again, because we forget as we get older, become more serious, we have bills to pay, things to do, and we forget that we have a little 5-year-old that still need to be fed and explored and let them come out and play.
I was gonna say, let that inner child out to play. Let them play and keep them out. Don't let them hide anymore. Keep them out. Let them play and have everybody play together on the big playground that is Earth. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah,
everybody play.
yeah. Do you have any hobbies that makes you happy?
Oh yes. Well, I had mentioned I love writing. I love being in nature. Water calls to me. So like waterfalls, streams, just even lakes. I have a in my backyard, we have this little like retention pond. And I just love going out on the patio and just looking at the water, sitting by the water. It's just beautiful for me. Um, love food. I love, trying new meals by myself and sharing meals with other people. I think sharing food is such a beautiful experience. The whole thing, when it just because you're just sharing and food tastes good. I love that. That's so much fun. And hula hooping. Oh my goodness, that was something that I had loved and I had done for years and years. And then when I had gotten that really bad flare up, I had not been able to hula hoop from 2009 to let's see, this year I'm doing it again and I can hula hoop straight for 15 minutes now. So I'm super excited. I love it.
Nice, nice. I love it. Awesome.
I also like this is kind of fun. I call it making happies for people, or during Christmas I call it elfing. I like making little random presents for people, or and mailing them in, snail mail, because people are getting, I mean, people basically what you get in your mailbox is bills, which most people don't smile about. Let's see, those like, coupon books, or people trying to sell you stuff. So if you get a little card in the mail that just says, hi, how you been, I've been thinking about you, or you get a little piece of candy or something in the mail, it's like, wow, this is nice, I love it. So making happies are some of the things I like to do for people. It's just, again, it's just a different way to spread joy. And that's kind of just what I'm all about. When I find different ways of doing it, and it's a great hobby. I like it.
I think it's pretty clever, and you're right. We only get bills and people trying to sell things, because most everything is either online or and the mail kind of is dying down. But I love your idea, kind of to surprise people with things like you surprised me with the thank you cards. I think it's incredible.
I'm glad you liked it. That made me happy. I was like, yay, she got her the mail. So that's
Yes,
cool.
thank you, thank you. Can you tell me about a time when you failed or made a mistake that turned out to be a learning experience?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say anytime I quote unquote fail is a learning experience. I used to failure was a big thing back in the day that I will say scared of, or it was one of those things like, failure is not an option, but not in like a, you know, you can't fail, but more like you can't fail. You know what I'm saying? It was very so how I used to look at I was very scared of it. I didn't, there were things that I didn't do because I was scared to fail. Or if I knew I couldn't do it, I wasn't even going to try. Where now I'm very much of the opinion that every experience gives you room to grow, to expand, to learn. And so really you're never failing because you're always learning. I mean, sometimes things are going to happen and they're not going to work out like you expect, and they may not work out, the way society expects, but you learn something from it. You learn either if you want to try it again, you can try it differently, or you learn that you don't want to try it again. It was something that, you did, but it wasn't your thing, so you don't do it again. But there's always something you can learn.
You're right. I think failure, we are afraid of it, but nothing good ever happens without a failure first. And we think everything is about overnight success. Meanwhile, there were a lot of failures that happened to see the overnight success come to life.
Oh yeah,
And
I
you're
mean,
so right about, being afraid, because we, even from young, I don't know how you were growing up, but from younger age, anytime we make a mistake, it's a big deal. And anything that was good is never recognized. Again, it's taken for granted. It's only when you fail you get to hear about it. And the mind is so kind of prime. When we hear something negative, we gotta redo it with 7 times positive just to undo one negative. Because even if I ask you, or I don't know, maybe you better now, but when I ask somebody to remember something about a situation or event, immediately we start saying things we don't want, or the negative stuff that happened, as opposed to, was there anything good that happened? That kind of goes over the head.
it's true. You usually want to like list all the, you ask, how you doing today? Oh, I feel like crap. Well, okay, well, I'm sorry you feel bad, but is there anything good happening? Just like you said, I understand, and it's crazy. It's crazy that that's kind of the go-to. And I hope one day that it's not like that for most people. What I like to say is, you know, what's good going on today, or what's good going on in your life. That way, it kind of, the question prompts somebody to say something good or positive. You can't say, if well, you can. I mean, you can say what's good in your life, and somebody can say nothing, but you know, you're most likely to get somebody thinking more intentionally about that positive thought if you frame the question that way.
Yes, totally, totally. Thank you, thank you. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
Oh. Just thinking. Big thing, I guess, would be my shape cards. So like, I don't know when we're gonna air this at all, but right now it's see, it's kind of towards the end of the year. So I'm looking at shape cards. I'm trying to show people that they are awesome stocking stuffers. And because when you get a little, they're packs of 10 and they're like $3 minimum. So you get them in a little cute little bag with some sparkles and things, and they're perfect just to hand out to teachers. They're perfect to hand out to people, your doctors, or waiters. That's one thing I like to do over at the when you get your little your bill or whatever, slip a little shape card in there, and this says thank you, and I get people looking and they're like, oh, this is nice, how cool. So it's just little things. And like I said, stocking stuffers, they're great because you can just pop them in. So that's it. Just spread the love, with the shape cards. And I'll hopefully we'll have a little link down there that you can come and reach me if you want them.
Yes, yeah. If people would like to reach you, where would they go?
Best place is Facebook. I'm there all the time. I pretty much write daily content on Project Shape. So that's one thing I would love to also invite everybody, because the more the merrier. And one thing too is that it's not necessarily you have to be happy to be there. I'm not, it may seem I'm all, woohoo, all happy all the time. Life isn't like that. The unicorns and rainbows, they take breaks. They go on vacation. So if I invite you to come as you are, and if you're happy, it's amplified. I love for you to express your happiness and joy. And sometimes, if you're not happy, I would love for you to come because we uplift and we support you. And so that's one of the things I do love about Project Shape. It's not a toxic positivity place. Just be here, come and, express where you are, and we meet you where you are and help you to find joy. And so that's a good place for me. Also, hit me up on the messenger. I love, having people just send me messages. Some of the best friends I have made and actually have become dear, like family to me, have just, from other countries sending a message. So it's so much fun.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, we'll include everything in episode notes. Thank you so much for coming, sharing your wisdom, sharing your wake up moment and your lessons. That happiness begins on the inside. It's an inside job. And practicing gratitude, I think, is just so, so important. And life is happening to me, or not, rather, but for me. And I always say in the end of the episode that it's always it's just a matter of a decision from you to reclaim your life. It's always something so little, but you're one decision away from reclaiming your life. So thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you. I love the mission you're on and the group that you are creating, and the shape cards are amazing. I think it's a little kind of pick me up, especially like you said, I'm sharing it when I go to a restaurant. They're having like a busy day, they're probably stressed out, and here you come, give a little sprinkle to lift them up a little bit. And anytime you go to a doctor or a teacher or anybody just who you meet, I think it's incredible. And it's a small token of your bigger mission, which is your Project Shape. And I think that's how more people we're gonna, get enlivened about the idea, and maybe they can spread happiness as well by you being that person kind of sharing it with others.
Thank you. They're also really cool, just conversation starters. That's one thing too I've found. If you're just in a room with strangers or you just meet somebody, like my parents had told me they were recently out of town and they were walking down the street and they saw somebody and they had given them a card. They ended up in like a 30-minute conversation with this person on the street. And how awesome is that? Like, just this little card sparked a whole like connection. And so I think that's kind of cool too.
Yes, yeah, totally. So thank you for coming. It was a pleasure to have you. And I wish you success in all of your endeavors and your latest book. It's going to be another awesome one. Thank you.
Thank you.